The following moments may contain explicit language.
We got a video from Antonio Talks. Title, Teen Goes Missing After Boat Trip with Friends. Now, if you don't know, Nolan Wells was reported missing. He was with a group of friends, all white. So they found the body, and it looks to be like it's Noel. Yeah, man. Prayers go out to his family. And yeah, you got to just be careful of who you surround yourself with. You know, white, black, it doesn't really matter. You just got to be careful, whoever it is. But for black people in general, this happens way too often. I forgot the lady's name. There was a story, basically, this lady went out with her coworkers for like not went out, but went to like a pajama party, sleepover thing. And she was killed. But before we get into the video, if you haven't already, hit that sub button. And oh yeah, shout out to the new subs. I'll be putting the name up somewhere. But yeah, shout out to all the new subs. And like, if you want to get shouted out in the next video, you got to go into your settings, hit that toggle so that I know that you follow me and I can give you a shout out. If you don't want a shout out, that's fine. Without any further ado, let's get into the video.
So today we're going to be talking about a tragic situation involving a missing 18-year-old boy by the name of Nolan. On July 4th, while at an outing with his friends, later that night, everybody returned home but him. Sadly, about an hour ago, we got news that his body was found and he is deceased. Now, I pretty much want to just dive into this case from what little knowledge that we do know already and also give my opinion on it, because this is, it's a conversation that must be had with a lot of my black parents. As you can see from the photos, Nolan was the only black person in this group. And this is a coincidence that we see time and time again. There was a story with the young lady who went to a sleepover with her all-white friend.
This is who I was talking about. This is exactly who I was talking about. And then the issue I have with some white people is that they'll say things like, oh, don't make this a race thing. Why you have to make it a race thing? Do you not see the overwhelming evidence? You have to be an idiot to not make it a race thing. All these ladies are white. She's the only black lady there, and she's the only one that ended up dead. This isn't like the first case of something like this that's ever happened. Now Noel is another example of that. How did he end up dying? Out of everybody, he the only black kid, he ended up dying? What about the kid that was brutally beat when he was, at an all-white party and he was the only black kid there?
Ended up dead. There was another situation with a similar to this where a young man was on a boat and he ended up dead, the only one. I'm going to talk about this later, but it just reinforces my thing of like, stop being the only black friend. There is nothing wrong with having white friends. But as we keep seeing time and time again, when you're the only black friend, there are no other black people in that friend group, things don't look too well. Now, I want to go in chronological order with this case. So with that being said, we got to start off with his mother and the post that she had made on Facebook announcing all of this. Now, this is his mother, and I believe that she is Filipino and half black. I'm not really sure. And I believe that this is his father. Now, Nolan comes from a great two-parent household. I believe they make great money. And this is something that we do see within the black community, where a lot of parents feel like raising their black children in these all-white spaces will do them good, when the whole time it actually does the opposite. Kids deal with racism, bullying, microaggressions, right? And they end up having this low self-esteem. They end up hating themselves. And I love using the analogy of Carlton in The Prince of Bel-Air, the reboot. There was a scene where Will walks into the locker room and Carlton's in there dancing around with his white friends and they saying the N-word, and Will busting there like, hold on, what the fuck you got going on, bro? Why are you letting them say the N-word? And Carlton is like, hey man, it's not that big of a deal, you know what I'm saying? And then Will is like, no, they need to cut that shit out. And as a viewer watching that, a lot of people might have automatically just got onto Carlton and say, oh yeah, he's a raccoon, he's this, he's that. But I look at it in the perspective of him, man. Like, think about it. He probably went to that school. His first day there, they was being racist, doing all these type of things to him, and he kept on fighting back. By the end of that year, he pretty much got tired of fighting. I mean, I can't fight y'all every day. I'm just gonna have to get used to it. So that tends to end up happening with these black kids in these all-white environments. They end up becoming docile. They have to end up just taking this stuff all for the better education. Please be on the lookout for Nolan. Last seen was West Tip, north side of Horn Island today around 3 p.m. July 4th, wearing blue shorts and sunglasses. It's unclear if he made it back on land. Please message me if you have seen him or information about his whereabouts, or after 4 p.m. So he was missing since July 4th around 3 p.m. Nobody's seen him since then. Nolan has not been found. His father and I have his cell phone, so friends who are seeing his location, it's because we have it. Katie has contacted me. We are currently at Horn Island. We are looking for any information other than what we already know. Please DM.
And the fact that the friends haven't come out and said anything, I think they said, oh, when we left, oh, he just went, he went somewhere else, and we, they basically said, we don't know where he went. We went to another boat and we lost him. In your friend group, who moves like that? Nobody moves like that. Nobody leaves a friend and just go, oh, we forgot about him. We went on another boat and he just stayed there, or he went what, and then we just went home. You didn't ask around like, yo, where's Nolan? We about to leave or whatever. Y'all just left and went home. Nobody moves like that, right? Except for people that had either a thought to do some harm to that person, or you're just a bunch of idiots. I choose the first option. I think y'all was actually trying to do harm to him. And that was the stupid ass excuse you came up with, like, we don't know where he is, because dumb kids, they're not thinking. We don't know where he is. We went on another boat and he went on another boat and we just went home. We didn't know where he was. You didn't ask nobody where he was. Where's the last time you seen him? So that just proves that you didn't care.
Have any additional information. So they had his phone. From what I heard, I believe his friends, Nolan gave his friends his phone before the story is very weird. Then she ended up posting some pictures. As you see Nolan right here, this is him on the left, this is him right here in the middle. Once again, this is him in the middle with all of his white friends, and they are drinking beer. Alcohol was involved. One of the top comments, this is interesting. My dad wouldn't let me go on a cabin trip with coworkers when I was a teen because I was the only black person. He might have saved my life with that. I didn't even read the story, but when I saw the picture, I knew the end. This reminds me of this story. Those boys who know what happened, speak up. And this is the event that I just talked about. It reminded me of this right away.
First thing I'm going to say is I would never leave without the full head count of my friends. That is rule number 1.
I was just saying that. Let's continue, though.
We don't get off no damn island. We don't get onto no boat. We don't do nothing until we have every last person that we came with all in one place. You mean to tell me that no one took account for Nolan Xavier Wells before y'all got back on that boat to go back to the main island? Something's not adding up. 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells was last seen on July 4th with his friends on Horn Island outside of Jackson, Mississippi. He was last seen in blue shorts, sunglasses, and that's it. Nolan's parents are looking for him nonstop. They just want to find their son. Now, the U.S. Coast Guard and the Cajun Navy are looking for Nolan. The
worst thing about this situation is this happened in Mississippi. So it's some racist shit that went on, right? And these type of white people that will befriend you for a long time, and I'm talking about since childhood, they'll befriend you for a long time, and then once you become like older, then they plot to do some weird shit to you. Little story. I used to go to Virginia for summers, right? Me and my family. Me and my stepbrother, we are riding our bikes around the neighborhood. And at this time, I'm a early teens. My stepbrother's maybe late teens. And these two little white boys come up to us, riding their bikes, right? We don't know these white boys, but they come up to us. And they say, hey, they introduce themselves or whatever. And they go, hey, let's go down to this. You guys want to go down to this creek over here? Now, we're bigger than these white boys, right? So we're not scared of them. But innately, we're looking at the situation like, first of all, we don't know about no goddamn creek. We from the city. We not from here. We're not going to no goddamn creek with you two random white boys, right? Because we don't know what's in store. We don't know what type of booby traps you done set up. We don't know what the fuck is going on. So we tell them no. As soon as me and my stepbrother get back to our house, which is like right down the block, we both look at each other and was like, yeah, nah, we not going with those white boys. Those are the white boys. And then worst case scenario, let's say something happened to them, then we get blamed for it. No. It's a double-edged sword. Either something can happen to them or something can happen to us. And we be damned if either or.
Navy commander said that he was last seen with a teen before he disappeared. They found his phone, but they did not find him. And if this is his friend group, I'm not going to lie. I don't have that much faith in finding this boy alive. Because like I said before, there's no way in hell I would hop on a boat to go home and not all of my friends are accounted for. Y'all didn't give a fuck about him whatsoever. And there's somebody out there that was part of that friend group that knows what the fuck happened. But everybody's locking the fuck up. Now I'm trying to...
And to add context, this was a small town in Mississippi, y'all. Miss a motherfucking sippy. You know what I'm saying? And they love to gaslight and just make it seem like we crazy. Even going back to the Kendrick Johnson case. So y'all remember that brother, man, who was found dead in a rolled up mat. They said it was a freak accident because he was...
I remember that. Wasn't his organs taken out or some weird shit like that too? Countless of times shit like this has happened to black boys, black girls. When they're in a predominantly white situation. Oh, don't make it a race thing. It's hard not to when you motherfuckers do weird shit like that. Or do heinous acts like that. What other reason you don't do it to any of your white friends? Why is the token black kid always the blunt of your fucking cruelty?
You know what I'm saying? These people know what's going on. They will always cover up and stand behind theirs no matter what.
Keep the faith that this boy's just sitting there lost on this island and, you know, he fell asleep or some shit. But 9 times out of 10, we already know how this shit goes, especially with a friend group like that.
Yeah.
My prayers go out to Nolan's mother and father and his family and friends. I hope I come with a better update.
A body has been found at Horn Island. This is the update I did not want to give, but we kind of already felt like it was coming. Although they have not identified it as Nolan Xavier Wells, who else can it be?
Some more information that I found out that Nolan walked off with a girl. Where is this girl? What is her name? What has she said? Second, it's kind of funny how Nolan left his phone. No teenager leaves their phone. No teenager, because they like to document everything. So how was his phone left? Second, this woman said that a girl put a message talking about these boys in this picture are no good. They needed to be investigated. She goes to school with them, or she went to school with them. Another girl that was at Horn Island said these boys were partying in the pool at 7 o'clock. Nolan went missing at 3. You mean to tell me you didn't know there was a black speck missing out the group? Nobody was searching for him at 7 o'clock. Yeah, shit's not adding up. No, my mom always had a rule. If ain't no black folks going, you ain't going either. Because we can never trust them to look out for us. I'm not blaming anybody for this shit, but things are not looking right.
Yeah, I want to make that clear. All right, I don't want to flat out just blame the white boys for killing him, but it's like the neglect. The neglect is there, right? Regardless of if they did it or not, the neglect is there. That's supposed to be your friend. And like she said, if they were still partying at 7 and Nolan went missing at 3, you clearly didn't give a fuck. If any of my friends go missing, at some point, one of us is going to be like, yo, did you see such and such? Where the fuck is he at? And then once we go, everybody go, I don't know. We go, somebody's going to be like, all right, let's start asking around or something like, yo, did you see da-da-da-da? If you don't do that, then you don't care. Or you're just so stupid and naive that you're just like, you know what I mean? Lackadaisy. And I'm not going to lie, a lot of white people just don't have that innate awareness. They don't have the awareness when it comes to those type of situations. Because 9 times out of 10, their lives are not in danger. They don't. So if a friend goes missing, they might not think nothing of it because they just don't have that awareness. I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? Do I believe they are the culprits? 50-50, right? Because now she brings up the evidence that he left with a girl. Was she in on it too? You know how they like to conspire sometimes. Well, I don't know.
Once again, my prayers go out to the family and the friends of Nolan Xavier Wells. I'm waiting on the identification.
And sadly, y'all, that body was him. His mother made a Facebook post. She said, I want to thank our family, friends, community, United Cajun Navy, local law enforcement, everyone involved for all the love, support, and resource over the last few days. His father, our family, friends, and I are absolutely devastated. My heart's broken for my sweet son who was always willing to cheer and uplift others. Nolan was a special soul. God took his time creating our son. And I ask that you please give me and my family time to grieve. Now, y'all, let's talk about the case of Tamala Horford in this photo right here where she was with all of her white friends during a sleepover. It says 40-year-old Tamala Horford left her husband and 5 sons after cooking them dinner to attend a friend's birthday party. And this is her family, man. Lovely, beautiful black family. Her friend Janine Myers had invited a group of moms who met at a football league to spend the night at hers so they could have a drink. Tamala arrived at 8:30 p.m. on November 3rd, 2018 with a bottle of tequila and an overnight bag. There were 12 people altogether, 9 women and 3 husbands. It was originally meant to be a girls' night, but some of the husbands stuck around. Only 8 of the guests were planning to stay over. The group of women drank, socialized, and watched football upstairs while the men watched football in the basement. After the football, the group drank and played Cards Against Humanity. Tamala looked happy in the pictures and the videos that were taken by the group. Tamala was drinking tequila. She was the only smoker and would go out to regularly smoke alone. She also smoked weed that night, but Janine asked her not to. She also teased her in the conversation, calling her the female Bob Marley. The guests who weren't staying began to leave at 11:30. The others slowly went to bed over the next couple of hours. According to interviews, Tamala was the last one to go to bed. She was last seen by one of the women who was picked up by her husband. Tamala said she was going to have a cigarette and to go to bed. That was at 1:47 a.m. Over the next 10 minutes, the home security registered the back door opening and closing and then opening again one last time at 1:57 a.m. In the morning, Tamala was found laying down in the garden. The group called the police and she was pronounced dead at the scene. Janae had been the one to call 911 and she had said on the phone that she thinks Tamala may have fallen off the second-story balcony while drunk. Police also worked that theory. A medical examiner found that Tamala's blood alcohol contents was 3 times the legal limit. She also tested positive for THC. An unlit cigarette and lighter was found on the balcony supporting the theory, but it was never tested for other people's fingerprints. They concluded she lost her balance because she was drunk and fell over. It was ruled an accident, and the case was closed. But Tamala's family had more questions than answers. How did a woman whose cause of death was falling due to being so drunk when the party attendees said that she didn't appear drunk in their interviews? She also didn't look drunk on the photos/videos taken. How did a house full of people not hear the fall right outside their window? Why did the door open at 2 a.m. and was left open if Tamala went to bed? Why didn't the police preserve the scene and test the evidence immediately? Janine's husband said he saw the unit cigarette before he saw Tamala's body, but no evidence was tested in the case. Most shocking of all, Tamala's autopsy showed blunt force trauma to her head, neck, torso, abrasions to her face, cuts on her arms, legs, and laceration to her heart. Could a 15-foot fall cause all these types of injuries? Tamala's friends have also said that they have gotten inconsistent stories from the group when she has spoken to them. Suspicions were further raised in 2019 when Janine's husband, who is a parole officer, was fired after he used his position to illegally access Tamala's incident report file. The case was reopened in 2020, but it concluded that no charges will be filed in the case. And this is a video from that night.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sean.
Ah, man. It just feels like Get Out. I couldn't have an all-white friend group. I'm sorry. I just couldn't. You can't trust them. I know it sounds crazy. And you'd be like, oh, you're racist. I don't care. You're not going to make me feel bad about that. Like, you can't make me feel bad about that. Right? If you put the roles in reverse and you are white and you're white and you have an all-black friend group, you don't have to worry about them killing you or doing some weird shit to you. Black people do. That's the reason why I wouldn't have an all-white friend group. I'm not saying I wouldn't have a white friend or some white friends. I'm saying I just wouldn't have an all-white friend group, right? There needs to be some black, some Spanish, some color in there because we can hold them, those others accountable. There won't be no weird shit going on because this shit just feels eerie. It just doesn't feel right.
Happy birthday to you.
It's sad, but I want us to use these horrible circumstances to learn from them. In 2026, man, a lot of people want to live in this fairy tale, kumbaya type of world where everything is sunshine and rainbows. But we got to live in reality. There is a saying that black parents have to teach their kids this life thing. Like, they have to tell you it twice. The first one is just about being a human being in general, all the hardships that come with that. And then you got a double one of being black. That's it for this video. Once again, man, sad situation.
And that only proves my point of what I was talking about not having white friends. When you grow up, your parents have to teach you about the real world. when you are black, you have two lives, just like Antonio said. You have two lives. The life you have to switch to when you interact with white people, police officers, at work, you know, and most of the time it's just for survival. It's a tough situation. Like I said, condolences out to the family. Black parents, just I would just say, like, you know, be on guard more, especially if you're raising your kid in a predominantly white neighborhood. They go to a predominantly white school. Try to get some some ethnic friends, and like, I don't know where you would find them, but try. But that's gonna be it for me in this video. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the whole situation in the comment section below. Do y'all believe the kids had something to do with his death? That's a tricky one, you know, but you know how they gonna flip it. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like I said, condolences out to the family. Hopefully they get the justice that they deserve, or hopefully they find out what actually happened and it's not some fucking cover up bullshit. Like he was drunk and he slipped over on the boat. Like, hopefully they get the justice they deserve. But yeah, I'll holler at y'all in the next video. Peace.